Wildcard weekend was crazy, so let's talk about what you may have missed. The first game to kick off the weekend was the Seahawks vs. 49ers. Seattle held the lead of 17-16 going into halftime, which I think gives hope that someone can beat the Niners. However, San Francisco ran with it in the second half, and Seattle couldn't keep up. But come on, with all of the weapons that Brock Purdy has, anyone could succeed in that quarterback position, so I'm not buying into the hype just yet. We will see how Brock Purdy reacts to Dallas's defensive line next week. What a heartbreak for Chargers fans to blow a 27-0 lead. The Chargers picked off Trevor Lawrence not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times. Asante Samuel for the Chargers had 3 of those picks, but the game unfortunately came to an unpredictable collapse. I guarantee that if Trevor Lawrence has that many picks next week against the Chiefs, he will not be able to come back from that. Going into the Miami game, I was probably thinking what most of you were thinking. No Tua, the Bills are going to dominate because who is Skylar Thompson? Wrong. Third-string quarterback Skylar Thompson ended up balling, and the biggest problem was actually his receivers not being able to catch the ball. Not to mention, the Bills were up 17-0 at one point, and the Dolphins caught up. It was a combination between ugly mistakes by the Bills, and the Dolphins started getting it together. It wasn't pretty, but the Bills won 34-31, and after this game, it's clear that the Bills need to get it together because that was not a Super Bowl-ready team. I was so hyped for the Giants vs. Vikings game. I didn't have many expectations from the Giants because somehow, someway, the Vikings always pull it off. The play calling was great, Saquon was great, and the Vikings were not prepared for what Daniel Jones was going to be able to do on his feet. The Giants did a great job at locking up Justin Jefferson, which is good because he carries their offense. Overall, I was super excited for the Giants. However, I don't think they will upset the Eagles next week, but you never know. I talked about heartbreak earlier for the Chargers, but imagine you fumble the ball right when you're about to score to take the lead. Well, this was a reality for the Baltimore Ravens, and it's the play that ended the game. The Ravens gave the Bengals a run for their money, even going into halftime with the lead of 10-9. With all of this said, Joe Burrow still fought with no protection due to all of the injuries on his offensive line. I was pretty confident with my prediction of Cincinnati going to the Super Bowl. However, after Wildcard weekend, I'm not so sure. The long-awaited Dallas game finally came on Monday night, and I was so nervous for it. I thought for sure Brady was going to turn into his old self for the playoffs, but that was not the case. Dak Prescott played one of the best games of his career, and I couldn't have asked for any more. When Dallas's offense got it going, they were unstoppable. Tampa, on the other hand, could not get their offense going, and Tom Brady was getting frustrated pretty early on. Dallas's defensive line absolutely dominated, and Tom Brady couldn't do much about it. Micah Parsons was a huge part of that, of course, and this looks like a team that's ready to face the Niners next week. Well, maybe one problem. Brett Maher couldn't make an extra point to save his life, so we'll see what Dallas does before next week. Comment down below if you think Brady is going to retire.